Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, this is the sub-series of my series, The Scientists of the Golden Age of Islam. And in this sub-series, I am talking about the Persian scientists. And today I will talk about al-Razi. So, his full name was Abu Bakr al-Razi, and he lived from 865 to 925. He was born in the city of Rey, Iranian city of Rey, and in the Western world, he is known with the name Rhazes. He was a physician, philosopher, and chemist, and he is widely regarded as one of the most important figures in the history of medicine. He also wrote on logic, religion, astronomy, and grammar. So let us first look at his scientific achievements. So he was one of the world's first great medical experts. When Ibn Sina and others, they followed him. Their period was after his period. And he is considered the father of psychology and psychotherapy. And he was the first person to clinically distinguish between smallpox and measles. And also he suggested a good treatment for smallpox. And he wrote a book of diseases of children. So before his time, the diseases of children were not never considered as a separate subject or an independent field of medicine. So he can be called the father of pediatrics. He started this concept that children diseases are different from adult diseases. So he also described methods to make a distinction between curable and incurable diseases. And he criticized Galen's theory that body possess four separate fluids or humors and which keep the balance of the body and are key to the health of the body and and they keep the body temperature at its normal. But al-Razi proved all these assumptions as wrong. He also challenged Aristotle's theory of four elements. So Aristotle said that uh, all living things are made of, fire, water, earth, and air. He also suggested that there are some other things also which must be considered, and that these are oiliness, sulfurness, and inflammability and salinity. Salient facts of life. As I said, he was born in the city of Ray, and his native language was Persian. This city was located on the Great Silk Road, so he had communication with different parts of the world. People used to stay over there, and he talked. He had conversations with them. So in his youth, he moved to Baghdad, and where he studied and practiced at the local hospital. And when he became famous, he was invited back to Ray by the ruler of the city, Mansur ibn Ishaq. He was governor over there, and he was appointed as head of a hospital. But as his fame grew, he was again called to back to Baghdad, and he was ordered by the Abbasid Caliphate to build a large hospital, the largest hospital yet in Baghdad, which was the capital city. Now look at how before him, all the Greek scientists, I mean philosophers, they were basically philosophers. They were not scientists. They never, they said something and never checked it by, or rarely checked it by themselves. For example, it is said that, if I'm forgetting some famous Greek name, he suggested that there are perhaps 48 teeth in the in human mouth, but nobody ever dared to check how many teeth are there. So this person, al-Razi, he started the evidence-based approach, and his first example was that to select the place for the hospital which he was ordered to build, he hung fresh meat in various places of the city and choose the place where the meat took longest to rot. You see what a genius he was. So it showed that this place was had the cleanest air and cleanest atmosphere, and this is most suitable for the hospital. But uh, in last years of his life, he started losing his eyesight due to glaucoma and went back to his native day. And it worsened and he became totally blind. But after his death, his fame spread beyond the Middle East to Europe. And in an undated catalogue of library at Peterborough Abbey, most likely from the 14th century, he has been listed as part author of 10 books on medicine. And this is a stained glass window depicting him in Princeton University, very famous American university. So he wrote a lot of books, and it is one of the major reasons of his fame. Most important of these is Al-Kitab al-Hawi. It has 23 volumes. And there are, in fact, this is a set of 23 books which dealing with gynecology, obstetrics, and ophthalmic surgery. So it is also a medical encyclopedia, and it is called Continence Liver in the Europe, and it also contains admiration and criticism on Greek philosophers Aristotle and Plato. I mean, he admired their good work and also criticized their loopholes in their work. And he also gave his own ideas about on different subjects. So this book contains original observations on diseases and their treatment, therapies, based on his own clinical experience. So it was totally, what you say, his own observations. So it is significant that it contained a celebrated monograph on smallpox that is the earliest known about the disease. So this book was translated in Latin in 1279 and it has immediate influence all over Europe. And because of this book alone, the European medical historians, they consider him the greatest medical doctor of the Middle Ages, even uh, above Ibn Sina. His second book was For One Who Has No Physician to Attend Him, yeah, a common man's handbook. So he deliberately wrote this home medical manual for general public, and he dedicated it to poor, the traveler, and the ordinary citizen who were not in a position to consult a medical specialist, and they could treat it by themselves. So it has 36 chapters and it is Not only the treatment is given, but also diets which should be used are also given. So it was a great contribution. Then there is a book for Al-Mansur. He wrote it for his patron, Abu Saleh al-Mansur, who was governor of Ray. And its Latin translation was done in 16th century by Andreas Vesalius, who was a Dutch anatomist and physician. And it focused on, it had comments on Galen's theories and also criticism of his theories. So this is a original title of that book. Then, as I mentioned earlier, that he wrote a book on diseases of children, and it was the first book on pediatrics. Then there another book is The Secret, that is Al-Asrar. This book was written in response to a request from al-Razi's close friend, Ibn Yunus al-Bukhari, who was a Muslim mathematician, philosopher, and natural scientist. And some people say that his most important book is Secret of Secrets, Sir al-Asrar, and they say that it is his most famous book. This book gives systematic attention to basic chemical operations important to the history of pharmacy. So this is focused on pharmacy, not medicine. So legacy. There is a Razi Institute in Karj in Iran, and also a Razi University in Kermanshah, Iran. And in Iran, every 27th August is celebrated as Razi Day or Pharmacy Day. So this is that institute, and this is the university. So in June 2009, Iran donated a Scholars Pavilion to the United Nations office in Vienna, and it features the statues of al-Razi, Ibn Sina, Abu Rehan Biruni, and Omar Khayyam. So these are the references which I used for this vlog. And next will be Omar Khayyam. It is interesting because most of the people think that he was a famous poet only, but he was also a scientist. So in this series, I have already presented vlogs on these eminent Arabs and Persian scientists. You know, my other series are Science and the Holy Quran, Pakistan, events which shaped Islamic history. And you also know how to reach my vlogs. So thank you very much for your attention. Allah Hafiz till the next vlog.